The UK is a dictatorship from Asmongold
The
TV.
UK government, oh, this is new. So just for a little bit of context, there was a huge petition going on because the United Kingdom government has decided that digital ID will be implemented. Did they decide this through a vote? No. Did they decide this through an election? No. Did they decide this through a consensus of the public? No.
Nope.
But that doesn't matter because progress can't be stopped. So we have right here. So basically, this is Keir Starmer, who is basically has the charisma of a wet towel and the policies of also a wet towel.
Agreed. Fully agreed there. Digital ID. It was something that when it was first talked about, of course, I knew nothing about it because it was brand new being first introduced and whatnot. But I kind of see it as, how many of you were in high school, similar age to me, when we first started getting all the tap to pay stuff with our debit cards, our phones, and eventually our smartwatches and whatnot? Everybody back then, I think it was probably 85 to 90% of my class, of my government class, when that's where we were talking about it, like 80 to 90% of them said, no, I'm not going to use it. That sounds ridiculous. Why would I want my, all my cards and such on my phone? That way someone steals my phone, all my stuff is gone. However, now I am one of those people who have a watch with their smart stuff on it, and I have my card on it. And I gotta say, that's one spot we were wrong on. This was better. Digital ID, however, I think is the exact opposite way, and it's not going to be better. It's going to create a way for people to be tracked far heavier on their activity online and, wherever they go around the world, etc., etc. It's probably not going to be very good overall, but I think we're going to wind up getting it anyway, regardless even if every single person just said, I don't want to sign up for that. I think eventually the government would probably just transition all of us into some kind of new thing to where once your ID expires and you have to get a new one, that you would have to also sign up for digital ID, that signing, up for, renewing your license is auto signing you up over there too. And it's like, as dystopian as that part sounds, that part may happen. Let's continue.
And so basically, this guy, is going out there trying to push digital ID. He really wants everybody to have digital fucking ID. And so Diddy sentence, it's not happening right now. I mean, when it happens,
Yeah, the Diddy sentencing is fucking insane. I'll have something to possibly talk about that later. The short of that is, in one sentence here, is he was sentenced to 5 years in prison, 40 or 50 months, 4 years and 2 months, but he has already served the time that he's been, since he was arrested, and he's already been serving that whole chunk of time, and it's all, going to be counted towards the sentence. His sentence is far too short, far too lenient for the actions he has committed and the things he has been seen on camera doing, that I don't think he should ever get let out. However, he's sitting there, oh, I'm sad. I just need to get out. I've learned the error of my ways. I've been in here, it sobered me up, and it's been a rough experience. Like, yeah, it's prison. It's supposed to be. You fucked up and you really did some bad things, so you deserve every bit of it. However, it's like, oh, you look at the math, the amount of his sentence he has to serve, he could be eligible for parole in like a month.
Watch it, but it's not happening. Let me know when it happens and I'll watch it. That being said, so he decided that digital ID is necessary. And let me see here, digital ID. I'm just going to just UK, right? I'm just going to look at UK just so you guys get the idea of what's going on. So how many people argue with the digital ID if you're not a criminal, right? Even plan.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that there's plenty of times in history where it's like, oh, why should you worry about this thing if you're not a criminal? Well, what if your government changes and then changes what qualifies as a crime?
Here is saying that UK's digital ID plan.
Now imagine that the things you've been doing all your life, the things day in, day out, all of a sudden your government says, hey, that thing that you do each and every day, you're not allowed to do that anymore. You're going to jail. Are you just going to stop the thing that you're used to doing, especially if it's something that's not hurting others and you like doing it? Probably not. You're probably going to continue doing the thing because it's fine. For example, my biggest one is you take fictional world of Star Wars, where you get the Republic that turns into the Empire, a actual fascist regime, and then, you know, the Empire starts going in, they change the laws, they make the Jedi all look like criminals, so anybody who's practicing the Force is now branded a criminal instead of, you know, as the Jedi branded them as heroes of the Republic, things that the people that would be out there saving you and protecting you and, you know, having a level of understanding. Or, you know, the different things on Earth that have happened. I'm sure, you know, before North and South Korea were split, things in that country were far different than they are today.
And it's a step too far. Imagine when you go so fucking authoritarian, fucking surveillance state that even
fucking Palantir doesn't want their digital IDs. Oh my god, you know you're on the wrong side of history when Palantir says, no, we're not gonna do that.
Palantir, named after the Seeing Stones in Lord of the Rings, that was used by Sauron and Saruman to spy on their enemies and conspire to enslave Middle Earth.
Bruce.
The company that's named after them is like, jeez, guys?
Digital ID?
Isn't this a little too far?
No.
Oh, man. Like, isn't this... Oh, wow. What is this? Who is Palantir? Yeah, that's it. And so, not necessarily looking too good for the UK, right? And so, anyway, that's pretty much where it is. This is what political class prioritizes, want to control law-abiding citizens. Of course they do. Obviously, that's the goal. So and this is all, it's all being pushed in the best interest of children. And, I mean, digital ID... It's the same as, like, if somebody cuts off your arm, you'll lose weight. And so if you're trying to lose weight, cutting off your arm will cause you to lose weight. And in the same way, digital ID will make children more safe on the internet. It will. And
maybe.
It will have other positive effects. There is...
If implemented properly, it will create a children's safety online. However, I do not think that it is requirement to keep kids safe online by the government. That should be the job of the parents. The parents should be checking in on what the hell their children are doing online. You should know exactly what the sites your kids are visiting, the games your kids are playing. You might not need to know exactly what the game, you know, interior, how it's played. You don't need to know how it's played. You just should know what it is. And if it's Roblox, you need to get your kids off that shit, because they're probably talking to pedophiles. Because, yeah, where kids go, pedophiles go.
Not only negative effects of digital ID, however, the negative effects outweigh the positive effects, right? And that's really where we're talking about, right? That's where we're at. We're not talking about nothing. Very few things in life are binary. Some of the things in life that are binary, there's actually a lot of people who think that they're not. But anyway, that's a different conversation. The point is that now the UK government has responded to the petition, because obviously a lot of people in the UK were unhappy about this, because they were like, oh, well, we don't want the government that's arresting people for tweets using digital ID. I wonder why. And so anyway, the government has responded. There was a huge petition. It has, let me see if I can find it. UK petition digital ID. Let me just go ahead and see if I can find it. And
hey, there we go. Perfect.
Okay, so it's got 200, excuse me,
2 3/4 of the way to 3 million.
Now, is that a big number? I would argue that this is, in fact, a big number. This is a big number. It's substantial. That's almost 3 million people. Now, what is the population of the UK? I actually don't know. Let me ask the internet. Population of the UK.
60 million, 70 million?
50 million? Like, that's what I'm guessing. 69.
70 mil, so nice. 69. Oh my God, the pause on Aspen. 69.7 million. That's a pretty good population, and I wonder if that's including illegal migrants or if that's only including legal citizens.
It's the number. 69 million. Okay, so it's more than what I thought, and I guess it's probably also counting Scotland and Ireland too, right? I mean, I would be assuming that, but maybe not. Well, no, I guess UK is it? Is this counting Scotland and Ireland also?
Yeah, it seems like it due to the comments.
Is it or not?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure.
That makes a little more sense.
And, you know, like, honestly, I still probably would have gotten it wrong. But, like, yeah, okay. All right, good. Anyway, so my point is that 3 million people out of 70 almost million people is not a huge majority, right? But it is a huge majority of people that have signed an online petition and have been activated to do that. And I think that it represents a larger amount. It's a mining canary. And so anyway, the government has now responded to the petition. So obviously the petition had some effect, or they wouldn't be responding to it. So let's read what the response was. Parliament will consider this. Okay. If it gets more than 100 signatures.
100,000 signatures? Well, it's got about 27 times that amount. Almost 28 times.
The government has responded. We will
They had 2.7 million people, almost 3 million to say, we don't want this thing. And then the government's like, we're going to do it anyway. Ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go, guys. There it is. So I mean, isn't this like, I mean, can't like...
To help tackle illegal migration. Introduce the problem. Give a crappy solution to the problem. The people don't want your crappy solution to the problem. Give them the crappy solution anyway.
Can't they get sued for, like, false advertising? Considers all petitions that get more than 100 signatures for a debate. I mean, this really isn't a debate, though, right? I mean,
nope, this is a dictatorship.
Like, I mean, I feel like if you go in, this is like, for example, like Donald Trump goes into the election, you know, against like, you know, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump is like, I will be the president. Everybody claps, and that's the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
I will be the power. All right, that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna win the election. Okay.
Oh, where are you, buddy?
They considered it. Well, they said it was open for debate, but clearly it's not. Anyway, so let's take a look and see what they're saying here. We will introduce a digital ID within this parliament to help tackle illegal migration, make access in government.
If you are a UK citizen and you are watching, please, if you are seeing any of this stuff, share with your friends in the UK, talk to them, and make sure none of them sign up for this digital ID bullcrap. Because that is how they're going to be able to arrest you for making a tweet that they don't like. If it doesn't fit their narrative, they're just going to come arrest you and lock you away. And you might not even ever get seen from again. They might just kill you if the government changes a little too much, if the illegal immigration gets too far out of hand to control, and all of a sudden they have, you know, the UK becomes an Islamic nation with Sharia law. And then all of a sudden, anybody caught criticizing their government or anybody not practicing Sharia law, all of a sudden now we get to come into your house and wipe you out because we know your digital ID, we found out where you live, and we're going to go track you down through all that stuff. It doesn't sound like a very good utopian society. That sounds very dystopian.
Services easier and enable wider efficiencies.
No, it won't.
Excuse me. We will consult on details soon. So, the response to the petition with 3 million signatures of all these people speaking out, angry that their government is forcing a digital ID on them, is for the government to remind them that their votes, their opinions, their voices don't matter, and it's going to happen no matter what. This is not a good day to be a United Kingdom citizen. It's definitely not. And that's kind of insane. So disrespectful to their voters. Wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, this is like one of the most disrespectful things they could have done with a petition coming in. They could have at least had everybody, a couple people that they said, hey, we're gonna have a little debate and have a discussion, even though all of us here are for digital ID. We need you two over there to sit and make it look like you're against it, and then we're gonna record the whole thing, put it out to the people, and make it look like there's a couple of you here who are, oh, we don't want that, but the majority of you do. So that way the optics will look better. Nope, they didn't think of any of that. They just made a post right there. We're gonna not take that into debate. Yep, we're not going to take that in debate. We're just going to do it anyway.
Would it? And so anyway,
so
that's
stupid.
where we're at. The actual rulers and owners want it. Oh, of course they do. And I think the population will accept it. I do think so. And I know people don't want to hear this, but I
think my example with the tap to pay payment stuff is probably the best example of things coming to a digital form. And people go and, yeah, I'm not going to use that. And then immediately basically just diving onto that landmine and using it.
I think the population will accept digital ID. And it will. And if you think they won't now, just think about COVID. Think about how many civil liberties and freedoms and rights that everybody just willingly and they were begging to give up their rights during COVID. They wanted their rights to be taken away during COVID. So all you need is an unpleasant situation, and you're going to have all of this stuff be receded in a matter of days. So that's it. They accept it because they don't understand it. Yeah, Twitch doesn't show that you're live. I don't know. I mean, like, Twitch is fucked. Twitch is absolutely fucked, especially if they don't ban Hassan Piker for his latest actions abusing his own dog. If Twitch doesn't permaban him, they're encouraging animal abuse to partake on their platform, and it's just not a good thing to happen. Because if you have a bunch of people who think, oh, just because Hassan can do it, so can I, that becomes a huge issue. Because Twitch won't come to their defense, but when people start getting banned for things that Hassan's doing too, and he's not getting banned, there should be some people making a big fuss about it. It's been fucked for a month.
If Twitch really wanted to have us all quit complaining about Hassan, all they have to do is make one little edit to their terms and conditions that says Hassan can do what he wants. Then he's not violating anything. But until that change is made, which it'll never get made, he'll be violating Twitch policies on the daily.
Now, I don't know why it has so many problems.
Or almost on the daily.
What's funny to me about this, I just opened up my Kick fucking dashboard here, is that Kick has never had problems. I've streamed on Kick now for 3 or 4 months or something like that. It's been something like that. I guess 3 months. It's been 4 months total, but I was gone for a month. There has never been any problems. You guys on Kick have always been like there every time. Nobody's been saying, oh, I didn't get a notification. How the fuck how are they doing this wrong, man?
Yeah, Twitch was the original streaming platform, and they took their monopoly over everything, and they let that go. They really did not do anything to protect their streamers, to protect their ability to keep people on their platform, to increase and update features. They didn't do any of that. They changed a few things here and there. They really made it easy for them to, take a cut from their streamers' pockets. And yet Kick basically went, looked over, grabbed their homework, took it, made it my own homework. This is mine now. And yeah, they were like, all right, we're going to make what you did and do it a little better. And then they're a lot better on it because they actually enforce their rules, which their rules are a lot more lenient than Twitch. However, if Hassan went over there and said the things he says that he does on Twitch, he would 100% get banned. Just because the things he says are vile and violate every content policy with terms and conditions that exist nearly. Holy crap.
What it is. Do you read Kick Chat? I tried to. I click back and forth sometimes. It's
like, I made a Kick account just so I could go over and view Asman and watch him and Tectone without getting bombarded by Twitch crap all the time. Kick gives me one little ad and then I'm off to the races. It's like, yeah, well, great, we're done. Moving on. Twitch, it's like, oh, here's your minute of ads, and then you can watch your streamer. But no, we're not going to pause the stream or let him know he's running ads. He's just going to keep talking, and whatever he said, I guess you just get to miss now. Because that makes sense.
It's against the TOS for me to show Kick Chat on my Twitch stream, which is so stupid. It's so weird. Well, it's not weird. It's just so Twitch can maintain another hegemony over live streaming, right? That's the reason why they're doing it. But that being said, it's very annoying that it's the case. Because you have conservative views? Well, I don't know about that. I wouldn't really go that far. I meme about that. I joke about it. But is it something that's actually true? I wouldn't necessarily say that or go out on a limb and you know, like be like, this is the reason why. But anyway, so yeah, why other streamers can't say Kick and you can ads? I don't know about other streamers can't say Kick. I mean, I stream on Kick. I stream, you know, on Twitch. That's just the way it is. I mean, if I'm gonna get banned for saying that, I mean, fuck, I might as well.
I say any streamer who wants to put their money where their mouth is, that streams on Twitch still and wants to get, you know, leave a message to Twitch to get Hassan banned, to get them to finally take action and enforce their rules to some of the streamers that they play favoritism to, you should stop streaming on Twitch. Maybe pick up YouTube as your secondary platform. Do YouTube and Kick. Even toss a little bit over to X and, you know, maybe make $20 over there. Like, as long as you're getting out there, especially if you're someone like Asmongold, who has claimed he saves 99% of his income and only spends like less than 1% of what he makes. And that's great. Like, that's a fantastic way to have things done, especially in the fact of, what if I have to step back, not make any money off a platform because the platform is no longer good, like Twitch has become. Like, Kick is all of a sudden, in my eyes and every way I viewed it, Kick is the better streaming platform for the community. Twitch is hostile. They allow people to break their terms. They allow, you know, there's the TwitchCon event. Literally, they just said we're going to have armed security guards all throughout the event. And it's like, it didn't used to be this way. Things didn't used to have to be that way at Twitch. You used to only have streamers who were at, you know, a much higher position to where they would buy their own security detail or have a guard or two near them following them around. It's like, yeah, that was the normal. That's how it should have been. You shouldn't have to have Twitch be the one creating and having to have a police state con. It's like, come on, you don't need a police state convention. You just need to enforce the rules on the platform that the con is for, and you need to enforce them in an even manner across the platform so that everybody gets, you know, governed on the same set of rules.
For another platform already.
It's the same thing as saying nobody is above the law and then having a president pardon his whole family.
It's, you know, I can understand Twitch not wanting you to directly promote a competitor all the time on their platform. I think that's reasonable. To a degree, it's reasonable.
And to this guy here, Static X3D in Jasmine's chat, Kick is a gambling front. It never said it wasn't. It never said it wasn't there to advertise gambling. It is 100% funded by stake.com, basically. So yes, it is very blatantly obvious that the platform is funded by and promotes gambling. If you don't like that, don't go there. If you don't want to gamble, but you want to watch your streamers on Twitch, don't gamble. And you want to watch your streamers on Kick, don't gamble and watch your streamer on Kick. Like, it's not a very hard thing to figure out. Like, come on. If you like to do something and you don't like to do another thing, or you don't like another thing, just don't do that other thing. It's really simple.
But, you know, what's funny to me is that YouTube allows you to promote Rumble, and Rumble is a direct competitor to YouTube, but YouTube is such a massive presence in the platform.
YouTube's kind of a bad example to use there. It would be like if you're going on Rumble and promoting your Twitch or your Kick, or on Kick promoting your Twitch or your Rumble or your YouTube. It's like, you know, you'd be using YouTube. YouTube is the big dog. There's almost nothing that will take that one down. Like, you can potentially battle for it for certain content styles. Like, I don't think anything, unless, it gets completely banned in the country, I don't think TikTok will ever become the not big platform for shorts. TikTok is just that platform that has shorts and that's been known for using shorts all the time. While, yes, YouTube has shorts, Instagram has reels, and etc. It's like, well, these platforms have their own short versions. Whenever you're talking about short form content, you're never, yeah, it was on YouTube Shorts. No, you were on YouTube itself, or you were on TikTok. Like, that's the short form
in the space, that they know that they have such a monopoly it doesn't matter. So I think the fact that Twitch doesn't allow you to promote other competitors implies that Twitch knows that they are not on completely solid ground, which is a different conversation. Let me go back and talk about this, okay? Like, I'm getting distracted. I'm getting fucking ADD'd out of my mind. So let's focus back on the fucking the digital ID, and then I can talk about the Twitch stuff after that. So anyway, Divine Competitor, Rumble versus YouTube is on. Okay.
It's hard for me to watch Asmongold's and react because he goes on tangents because he's ADHD, I believe, and he gets distracted. And I'm even worse, and I get distracted. And he distracted me, so now we're like 3 topics behind what we started.
Okay, all right, so let's move back. Anyway, we just give it fucking 10 minutes, all right? And then I'll get back to it. That being said, digital ID, I think, is the future. I think it's going to happen. I think that I think there's going to be some sort of biometric digital ID. Now, right now, I think that the first version of biometric digital ID that will be universal will be iris, like a person's eye, and a couple of other biometric readings. I don't think that you're going to have, like that Larry Ellison interview, I think that he was right.
He's probably right, where it would have to be some kind of, your eye optics combined with, I wouldn't say any fingerprints, because what if you happen to work a job where maybe your fingerprints aren't going to always be perfect. Maybe your fingers get damaged because you work a blue-collar job that's working with your hands all day, and maybe you get cuts all the time, or maybe you're working in a kitchen near hot things, a hot grill. If you accidentally, have a finger touch that, you could completely burn off parts of your fingerprints. Where, yeah, they won't be able to get you, but now they got to figure out 2 other things to really use for your digital ID, and it'll be interesting how they implement it, because it can't be a fingerprint. Those can easily get burned away and not left behind, etc. You'll never know who did what at that point, and a lot of people will not go for any of the biometric stuff, and it ain't going to work in the U.S. We got a much larger population that would definitely be like, I'm not doing it. And then there's some of the older groupers, digital ID, I don't even have a cell phone. Like, I was at work the other day, and I had a customer who, I asked him if he had our Stores Rewards program. He said, do you have to sign up with that with the phone? And I was like, yeah, you do. There's an app, because of course there's an app. But he's like, yeah, I only have a landline. And I was like, oh, interesting. That's one of the few times I've still heard that. Even my parents got rid of their landline after me and my brothers grew up and got our own cell phones. Once we had a way for them to contact us, we no longer needed the landline or anything. And that's not just, get rid of some of the stuff, the old stuff. It was out of, hey, we got stuff that is newer and is better, but I don't think digital ID is going to be that newer and better. I think just our standard ID cards that we've had for decades at this point, those should be enough.
Right, in that passwords are very easily stolen, etc. And because of that, I think
passwords are only easily stolen because people make their passwords like words or phrases instead of just random generation of characters, because that's so much harder to guess. I think all but like maybe one of my passwords that I use are all completely randomly generated list of characters and symbols and whatnot, so they're almost impossible for people to guess.
You're probably going to see, I hope you're wrong. Well, I'm not you can say that. This is just what I'm predicting is going to happen, right? Like, I'm not telling you I want this to happen. I'm not saying this should happen. I'm just telling you, like, I think this is, like, you know, if I say it's going to rain today, it doesn't mean I necessarily want it to rain, even though I would, because it's hot here. But you know, that doesn't necessarily mean I want it to happen. I'm just saying I think this is what's going to happen. So that being said, I think that digital ID is inevitable. I think it's inevitable. I think that too much of the population is not concerned with privacy.
100%. So many people don't care about their privacy. So many people, when they create accounts, they just make the account their literal first and last name, or their first name, last initial. And it's like, are you trying to get yourself doxxed? Are you trying to get yourself found out? Like, some people don't realize it, but, like, it's one of those where you look in and you're like, well, for some things, digital ID might be better. Because if you have an ID on your phone that's got all the information and your picture, then, you know, say you go buy alcohol or something and they card you and you just pull out your phone. There's my ID. Click. I don't know what all those notifications were, so I don't want you to try to peep whatever I'm doing. But yeah, it's one of those, oh yeah, turn around. There's all my ID and such.
Much of the population is not concerned with any sort of surveillance. A lot of people don't care about it. They're going to rationalize it by saying that everybody has camera phones everywhere and that the government can look your stuff up anyway.
That's a good, you know, note for the argument, but I can destroy it with, oh yeah, and how many of those phones that everybody has are recording at all times? They might have audio that they listen in on from certain apps with their permissions, like Amazon to feed you ads to get you to buy things that you talk about, or other sites, Facebook, Met, Instagram are both guilty of doing that. However, you get it's like the advertising there with getting into your head, and it's like listening in on you. You don't have cameras pointed at you every single portion of the day yet. I think we are on a path to doing that with the society that we are living in today, and the part of it is a very violent side of it. The left is violent and needs to tone things down, calm things down, relax a bit. Otherwise, it's just going to create problems.
And so it's normalized in their mind.
Bigger problems than already exist.
Need licenses to do other things in real life. And as the internet becomes more like real life and an extension of real life, it would be logical that you would need a license to use the internet as well. That's going to be what they're going to use. That's going to be how people are going to think.
I personally think I would rather take the surveillance state where there's cameras all over watching. You know, outside a house, and not like out. You have to have a camera on your house to look out on your street, and all your neighbors have to do the same, so we can watch you everywhere you go. No, but businesses that happen to have security cameras or exterior cameras around, and you know, maybe the government pays to put a few up in problematic areas that might, you know, benefit from having a little more supervision of things. Yeah, there could be things that are better. And I think that is the better route to take than just doing this here, of having everything be connected to your identification when online anonymity is at an all-time need for protection for some people. Because I bet you, I haven't been doing this that long, barely a month now, and I bet you there's already people who might have seen my videos and have chosen, no, I hate you, I don't like you, you're part of the fascist group that's in charge of the US right now, even though that's fully false. Look up the definition of fascism and then come back to me.
And I guarantee you this is what's going to happen. Clip it and wait in fucking, I would say 6 years, but
I would say less than that. I would say closer 3 to 4.
Probably 6 months is better. People are going to be making these same
6 months maybe to get like things for maybe politicians to be like, I want to introduce this thing. I want to kind of bring it in, and maybe they call it something else other than digital ID. Maybe they call it, I don't know what they'd call it. I don't have any creative names off the top of my head at the moment for that, but like they probably will call it something different, and maybe he's right that in 6 months it'll start getting mentioned and start being a little like forced into us a little itty bitty bit at a time. But I'm still thinking it's probably going to be 3 to 4 years and they're going to do it in the middle of our next election, our presidential election cycle. And that's, while we're all distracted trying to pick a new president, they're going to slowly come in and creep that right in there. That's what I honestly think is the more likely scenario to happen.
Arguments. That being said, and
the UK, however, probably will have it by the end of next year.
Getting into all of that, I do think this is going to be problematic. And I think that the core problem with the UK is not necessarily this in itself, it's the laws that this helps enforce. And what I mean by that is that the UK has a bunch of speech laws that prevent people from speaking their mind and giving any feedback or criticism to the government or to any sort of, religious group or minority group in a way that is considered hate speech. And so the real problem, people are already getting arrested for posts on the internet, right? So it's not like this is going to change a whole lot, but obviously it's not good either. What I think is going to happen is, I think this will basically put that on steroids. It's going to make whatever the enforcement is already, it's going to probably 3 or 5 or 10x that enforcement, and it's going to make it that much easier for them to do. So that's pretty much where things are going. Digital ID, I think, is an inevitability in the UK. And this is the reason why I think that it's so important for them to try to push back and stop the government from doing this. Because also, I think the UK government is, I don't live in the UK, so maybe I'm just speaking about this from a third party. I don't know what I'm talking about. But from what I'm seeing, it looks like a shithole, right? It looks like a complete shithole. It looks awful. So wouldn't this make people push back even harder then?
Yeah, they say the grass is always greener on the other side, but I gotta say the grass looks pretty fucking brown in the UK.
No, because there's not enough of them. I understand that there are some of them, but I think that the digital ID is such a soft form of oppression that a lot of people won't even feel it. And I think that you compare that with, for example, migration, mass migration, or, the amount of illegal immigrants, the boats and all of that stuff. That's something that's much more easily seen. And I think that now, because it's been more prevalent in that culture, that it's easier for people to define an effect that it has. And this is what the difference is between that and this. So yeah, do you think the push for real ID can fail? Do you think that it can fail? Is there a universe where it can? Yeah, but it's a Doctor Strange 1 in 54 million universe.
Yeah.
I think that it's almost inevitable. And I don't really...
The only way for digital ID to fail is for nobody to sign up for it. If the government starts signing you up for it, then that creates a separate problem and issue. But if it's opportunity, it's up to the user of digital ID, the user of the ID to sign up, then just nobody sign up for it. That seems like a pretty easy way to get around it, is that they should not introduce them because, well, it'll stop illegal immigration, even though they put that problem in place anyway. And so now they're going to try to force everybody to get their digital IDs so they can stop the illegals, even though that's not going to happen at all.
I wouldn't bet on it failing. I would bet on it failing maybe first 2 times. I wouldn't guarantee it's going to succeed the first time, but I guarantee that it will succeed within 5 or 10 years. Does that make sense? And I think that there will be continued pushes for digital ID, and soft forms of it will become more and more encompassing over time. Because once you get your foot in the door with something like that, then all you have to do is expand its functionality, and then it affects everybody. So that's what I think is actually going to happen. Well, what do you guys think about that? This will help eliminate bots in video games? It will. Yes, it will.
It could help eliminate bots in video games, and if websites implement it, it could help eliminate the bot problem in the YouTube comment section, or the Russian bots on Twitter, etc., and other platforms, but Twitter, I think, is where they mostly reside. But yeah, I do think there are good benefits that could come out of it, but I don't think they outweigh the heavy fucking downsides that it just having it would bring.
And so that's pretty much the way I think things are going. They say it's for combating migration. Why don't they only ID the migrants? Well, sometimes you don't know who the migrants are, right? Like there could be a brown person in the country and they could have lived there for 3 generations. I mean, it's not a guarantee that every brown person is an immigrant, but or a migrant, excuse me. I would say they probably all pretty much are immigrants because Europe and England is primarily Anglo-Saxon ethnicity, but they could be like fucking immigrants from like the 1900s, right? So it's a big difference. They could stop the boats for starters. Yeah, I think that would be a really good start. Plan. But anyway, the migrant is an excuse to give up.
Because right now we're at the point of people are just yelling, stop the boats. What happens when they start yelling, sink the boats? Are we going to switch from send the illegal immigrants back home to fucking kill them and not let them go anywhere anymore? Because that could be an option, and it's not necessarily a good thing, but it could happen if things aren't going the correct way of the people.
Privacy, you're right. And I am becoming increasingly more conspiracy pilled. I am. And this is what's so crazy, is that I wish my mom was still around. Well, I mean, for a lot of reasons. Mainly 2 reasons, because she made a really great pot roast.
And she's your mom and you love her.
And the other reason is so she could see that all of her fucking conspiracy theories and the crazy shit that she would believe is actually happening.
I mean, that would be a great one where she'd sit there and she'd be like, I told you so. I told you so. Man, I wish he still had at least one of his parents left. It's kind of sad knowing that he has none of them left. I hope he has a good group of friends around him. I hope he still has people he hangs out with in person, because, man, it'll become a very sad existence if he just exists in this little camera view on our screens.
It's actually happening. And I was like, there's no way they're going to do this. There's no way this is going to happen. I would argue with her whenever I was a kid. I was like, there's no way they're going to try to push like gender ideology on kids. There's no way this is going to happen. She's like, you see, I tell you, watch this video. And like the thumbnail of the video is like Obama with like a lizard face and there's laser beams coming out of his eyes and he's destroying, like a white family's house. And so like, I just assumed that this video was wrong, right? But
apparently it's right.
Man. No, she was...
We all thought the lizard man was Mark Zuckerberg for so many years. Turns out it was Obama the whole time.
The big Mike believer. She was. Like every crazy... Like, she knew more about conspiracy theories than Alex Jones. I'm literally not even kidding, because she was an academic. She had multiple college degrees. She was a writer. She has probably, if you took the combined weight of every book that she has in this house, it would be heavier than a car, okay? Like, it's insane. And so she knew all she knew about David Icke in like 2003. I was hearing about David Icke whenever I was in middle school, okay, guys? So, this isn't even something new or anything like that. What car? It could be a bus, all right? It's a lot of them. And digital form is another form of globalization and thereby the destruction of society. Digital ID is, I don't think that's, I see your point of view, but I think it's about the utility of it, right? Because I think you can have globalization without digital ID, and you can also have digital ID without globalization. Like South Korea is a great example of that I would use. But overall, I see your point of view. And also, whenever all of these things are happening and you have the WEF and all that stuff, I recognize the trepidation. But yes, that's basically what I'm saying. You're right about stages. They'll put digital ID for porn access, then people will cave in, and then it'll come in forms of general access. I think that porn access will actually be a tougher, nut to crack, for lack of a better metaphor.
I fully agree that I don't think anyone will ever be able to have a full crackdown across the entire internet for porn sites and be able to enforce any digital ID to block it all. I even had blockers on my school computers growing up, and I still definitely saw things I probably shouldn't have at a young age. and they got through the blocker because it's not perfect. And that thing was so aggressive at things, it would block pages that I'm just trying to look up for different World War II things for a history class that I had. I was like, we did a mock trial for Harry Truman dropping the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And throughout the trial, yeah, it was basically trying to go through and just, you as the students who were, part of the jury. That was my part. I loved being a part of the jury because I didn't have to get up and make any statements. I just had to sit there, write down things, take notes, and then I got to go join the other jurors afterward to deliberate and decide if our president was in our class guilty or innocent. I believe my group wound up saying that he was guilty and should not have dropped the second bomb. I believe we all found him fully innocent for the first bomb, though. I believe that's how that trial wound out. It was a fun course. I actually really enjoyed my history teacher back in high school. I hope he's still teaching and he's doing good.
Then you might imagine. I think there's a lot of people that want to keep their porn history and everything very, very private. So I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. Now, it might happen. I don't know. But it's not something I would necessarily guarantee. I don't know about that. And UK was just the beginning. If it isn't pushed back, and the rest of the world will follow soon. Well, no, what you're not understanding is that the UK isn't the first domino. It's like the fifth or sixth. There's a number of countries already that already have a form of digital ID to begin with. I just gave the example of South Korea, for example. So, no, I don't agree with you on that. I don't think that's true. I think that the fact is this has been a global push.
Jork it, will you still can jork?
That's been going on for the last 10 years. And so the UK is the first, you're right about this, that it's the first westernized country Western country that is adopting this in a serious way. That part is true. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So the UK has responded, and the response is that the beatings will continue until morale improves.
Yep,
the
pretty much
has already happened. You've lost categorically because you can't vote. That's it. All right, great. Doesn't Australia already have this? I'm not familiar enough with Australia's laws to really have an opinion on that. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I just don't really pay a lot of attention to it, if you want me to be honest with you. So I don't know. And but South Korea probably isn't going to use it for hunting down normal people on X. Actually, South Korea used geolocation on somebody's phone with push notifications that you had to respond to during COVID in order for them to track your location at all periods and times to make sure that you didn't leave your house whenever you weren't supposed to. So guys, totalitarianism and authoritarianism is not a idea in a book. It's only like 3 weeks away. Every horrible thing is 3 weeks away. Keep that in mind. 3 weeks, maybe if it's really bad, it could take a month. Other than that, yeah, COVID was a red pill. It was. And so, no, I don't agree with this at all. They'll say kids' safety. Oh, yeah, no, it's, but the real safety that they're
That's where it always starts. They always want to start it with, it's safety for kids online.
Trying to ensure is the government's. And that's really it.
Yeah. They're all there claiming, we were doing all these things to protect the kids in the country. We're doing all this to protect them. They're there and they need us. They're going to be looking at things they shouldn't. And then yet no one goes and attacks the, areas where pedophiles are knowingly found and knowingly hanging out. Anyway, we found a future video I'm reacting to tomorrow evening, or tomorrow morning is that one. So look forward to that one. Anyway, have a good day.